Welcome to another episode of Discover Harmony, Florida. I'm Kristin Macari, and I'm here with your host,
Jeanine Corcoran, broker for the Corcoran Connection of Real Estate Company.
And so we're in another month. It's February 2022. So let's talk about what happened in January 2022 in Harmony. I almost said 2021.
Oh my gosh. Can you believe that already?
I know.
Well, surprisingly, there only were 9 properties that sold this in January. There were 4 in the Lakes, which is our 55 and over community. And then there were 5 resales. And if you compare that to last year, how many did we say? 3, 6, 7, 8. 8
Yep.
for the month of January.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, it seemed quieter though.
It just felt quieter. I think because there's so much desperation in the air. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like there's so many buyers out there that are just like chomping at the bit still to get into Harmony that like, even though we still had this relatively the same number of sales, it just doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't.
Because
And I think it's true because, the buyers are getting very anxious. I can't blame them. So, we when we always talk about it, we say it's a challenging market for the buyers. It is.
Right.
It's a challenging market for the buyers. And then with the interest rates looming,
Right.
they talk about the whole, doing it, 3 times this year, right? That's even making them more anxious. I feel bad. I mean, we just feel bad, that they can't find a place to live, or there's not enough houses just for them to pick from.
Right.
Even with the builders, a shortage of.
Right. Yeah.
You know that.
I know the story. If anybody's been listening to the podcast for a while, we've been in the market for a new home for
Ever.
a long time, very long. It's been a long year and a half, I swear. And so we finally broke down and found an inventory home with Jones Homes. So we're under contract and our house is under construction. And so I drive by like almost every day just to see if there's something new done.
I went
Jones,
today to see it.
Yes. Jones, if you're listening, and if you could find my windows, that would be really, really appreciated. I love that.
Just kidding. Thanks, Jones Home. I got my windows.
Speaking of people listening on the podcast, so thanks for the new subscribers. So now we have 2. No, just kidding. Just kidding. No, seriously, we appreciate the new subscribers. I know it's a very, what do I want to
Niched.
say? Yeah,
Podcast.
But when I was listening to my sister Barbara's podcast, this is when I wouldn't even know which one that is, and I don't know what she's on now, but in the beginning, I messaged her and I said, oh, that was a really good podcast. She said, which one? I said, the one with Ryan Sarant. And I said, it was good. And I don't even think I caught it on the podcast. I caught it it came through Insta or YouTube or something.
Right.
Because I didn't even know how to find podcasts at the time. And anyhow, and she literally said to me, she says, oh, I'm so glad you said something because I didn't think anyone was listening. Like she's
Right.
like, and that's kind of how you feel. Like,
Right.
is anyone listening?
Right. Is anybody out there? Let us know. I feel maybe if we did like a giveaway or something.
Well, that's true. No, I've had people say to me, but I feel like sometimes they find it comes through for YouTube or something like
Right.
that. I don't really know.
Right.
But,
Right. Yeah. Where are you watching this? Are you listening to this? Like, where did you find this podcast? Let us know. Like, we just desperately want to know. Reach out to us. Let us know, where you're listening.
Oh, so this is a good one. I forgot all about this. I didn't even tell you about this.
No, I'm very surprised. I don't know what's coming next. Oh gosh.
But remember, I had someone reach out. I think they got it on YouTube. They were watching it for St. Cloud, Discover St. Cloud,
Right.
And they loved we talked about food a couple of times, so they call themselves foodies. But
Right.
literally, Bill was helping them. Like we had a good 30-minute or more Zoom conversation with them, and
Right.
we talked about different areas, not only St. Cloud, we're all over.
Right.
And Bill met them this weekend and was with them.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of cool.
That is cool.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Right. That's the exciting part of it. Do I get a referral fee for that? Because I'm a co-host. You know that, right?
I know, I should have given them to you.
I'm doing all the work here. Come on, man. No, it's all good. But that's great. That's awesome. So we'd love to know, where you guys are listening. If you watch us on YouTube, if we need to make it more engaging for you that way, we can do that for sure. But it's been a really quiet month, and I feel like in the real estate market. It just, I think with so much desperation out there for available inventory and the fact that we don't have anything, when we get something, it's like on and off the market if it's appropriately priced. I mean, if you're going to price your house at $1 million and it's clearly a $500,000 house, I mean, then it's going to sit.
Right.
But everything else, if it's appropriately priced, it seems to be moving very quickly still. And, so definitely need some inventory. I mean, even that, I mean, what's our available inventory look like right now in a snapshot really quick?
Yeah. So really quick, we only have 11 actives right now. We have 6 in Harmony West, 3 at the Lakes, which 55 and older, and then just 2 in resales. So that's not much.
No.
The Lakes has been on fire. I mean, they
right.
It goes in like waves. Like we haven't had condos or townhouses. Like we have one, that sold, but
that's it
since the summer.
Right. I felt like they did a big turnover a couple years ago, though. Like I felt like every other listing was a townhouse or a condo, and then now it seems to have settled.
Right.
Everybody's kind of happy where they are.
Who we have to get on here would be really good is Robert Bass.
Yes. Oh, just to pick the mind of an appraiser. Like,
I don't control the market.
Right.
But, so I was talking to him about a condo that's coming on the market, and I was having a hard time following the normal rules that we all follow based on years of working with appraisers and asking them, how do you
value a house?
How do you value? And so everything was from like the summer for a condo, which, as everyone knows, everything went up between 19 and 20% here.
Right.
So, like, do you just like add that onto it? Like, how do you do it? So I called him the other day, and he gave me he goes, well, what I would do.
Right.
And he gave me step by step and how to take the older, rather than 2 things you could do. Either you have to go back in time. Right. Or you have to go out in distance.
Right.
And he said for the condos in Harmony, it would be hard. Like he had me like in Anthem Park. Right. Like condos down there. Right. So he went on the computer when I was talking to me, and he's like, well, Jeanine, you have this in July, May, and he's going all, and I'm like, yeah, but like I didn't think I could use any of those. And so he said basically you have to find what increase in value it has for the whole year, divided by how many months it was the distance between the one that just sold versus now. Right. And to figure out the increase in value based on how much the market went up is how he would do it. Right.
So very similar to, that was kind of my thought, wasn't it? It was, I said you would probably use the comps, but because they're older, you would extrapolate out. Yeah. Now I'm curious to see, was the increase, oh, I got to do the numbers. Oh, this is fun. I love numbers. But
well, you could do it for me now.
Right. So I'm just I'm very curious, because if they had a huge increase January to July or whatever the most recent comp was, is that the same trajectory? Because now you're drawing just like a basically, I'm going to try and do it the right way, diagonal line, not kind of accounting for like the little,
because I don't know if the data gives you the month by month, then that's okay. But I think he was doing the RPR, which I don't know if it gives you monthly. I think it's more like a over time. Right. And then he said divide it by 12 and figure out the distance in the months. Right. But he said, he's like, oh, that's a piece of cake. And so they made, but
made you feel good, but hey,
but he would be fun to come on just to educate people on what's
right. Because we don't make this stuff up. Like, I mean, and quite honestly, like, I don't know, I don't want to brag. I feel like I'm really, really, really good at pricing things, like coming up within, a couple $100, maybe $1,000 of where an appraiser is going to land. Right. And so, it's definitely a fun challenge for me to try and figure out like where to price things in this current market. It's crazy, but
because sometimes you see things on, and I realize there's a story behind everything that happens. Like people don't know the situation. Right. Every home, every owner has a story. Right. What works for them. Right. But sometimes you see things, you just go, where did they get that price from? Or, right. You can go into stories, but
I know
some of it's.
But yeah, he'd be fun to bring on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and if you have any suggestions, for all of you 3 people that are watching,
right? All 3 of you. No, what do you want to hear?
We're kidding, but yeah, no, just definitely talking to an appraiser would be, and then even a mortgage person that talks about their, like you said, their idea of what they think the market's going to do. I was actually going to, because I went to the Tom Ferry event, they said interview a couple of your mortgage people,
right,
and say, what's your prediction on the market? What do you see happening? But I was going to do 3 of them. But what if all 3 of them, well, I guess it doesn't matter, right? 3 completely different opinions.
Right.
That's what it is, right?
Right. And what'd you say? What if all 3 of them Finish that thought. If they all say 3 different things?
Right.
Or if they all say the same thing?
No, if they all say the same thing. But
Right.
what if they all say completely different things?
Right.
It's
It'd be crazy. I don't know. I had that conversation today with somebody about the housing market. They're like, oh, what do you think is going to happen? And I'm like, honestly, I don't know. But there's just still way too many buyers and not enough houses.
Yeah.
So I don't know that any of this is going to change dramatically. As far as any kind of...
And last year we were kind of feeling like what goes up has to flatten out or come down a little. Never coming down like it did, but it didn't, and it keeps...
Right. I think it's just the supply and demand. We just don't have
it's
supply.
the old supply and demand.
We don't have supply. It's basic economics. There's just no supply. So on that note, if you're thinking about selling and leaving Harmony, please don't go. But if you are thinking about leaving Harmony, please call us so we can list your house so we can get some more buyers in here.
Yeah, because
get them in homes.
We have a lot of buyers, that's for sure.
A lot of buyers, not enough houses.
How about 40 pending right now?
40 pending? But how many of those are in Harmony? Am I asking a question you don't know the answer to?
Yeah.
How many of those are in Harmony West, the builder homes?
32. 32 out of the 40.
Okay, so let's take those out of the equation.
Okay, all right.
So there's 8 actual houses already existing in Harmony that are pending. Yep. So still not a lot in terms of what was available for inventory to buy.
No. And you know what seems to there's a wave of the customs were going for a while,
right?
And then now there's no resale.
Right. There's nothing. That's what I'm saying. Your average house in Harmony is just, they're not listing, they're not selling, it's not like they're not selling because people don't want them. There's just nothing to buy. So
they want to stay. Most they just want to upgrade.
Right. They want to do the Harmony shuffle.
Or downgrade or
right.
But
right, maybe their kids have now grown, so they want smaller house. Maybe they're, they want a bigger house. Maybe they're ready to upgrade, maybe they want something newer, I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see what February brings. Hopefully some people will get off the fence and
we do have 2 different mortgage companies that do a plan as far as being able to help where you can move out of your house, buy the next one, and don't have to sell that other one, and don't have to make it contingent on the sale. So that's good. We have a couple of programs. So, thank goodness to those companies that came up and thought of something. So that's something else, we could talk about. It's an option. Right.
Especially with such low inventory. I know a lot of people are hesitant to sell their house because then they're like, okay, well, I'll sell my house really quickly, but then I'm homeless. So that definitely helps them be able to purchase the next house without the contingency and then, sell their house, which I'm sure they probably won't have any problems doing. So
no problem selling. Yeah. So
still a crazy tight market out there. So if you have a house to sell, if you know of anybody looking to sell, definitely reach out to us. We'd love to take the challenge of pricing your home out. Right.
Always love doing those CMAs.
Yep. So
it's just a conversation. That's all.
Yep, absolutely. And check it out. I mean, there's so many things that go into pricing a house. It's not just a simple formula or whatever. You definitely have to look at it and kind of, look at all the, options and everything put into the home. So, but that was a nice, quick, short one for today.
It was short.
It was a good one though, because everybody loves a good market update. They want to know what's going on. So we're telling them what's going on. There's not a lot of houses. Please sell your house.
Exactly.
But thanks so much, guys, for joining us for another episode of Discover Harmony Florida. You can find this on all your favorite podcast platforms. Check us out on YouTube if you want to see what we look like and all that kind of good stuff. And go ahead and rate, review, subscribe, all that jazz. And let us know if you have any topics you want us to cover for Harmony Florida. We'd love to see you there.
Bye.